Hey guys and gals, sweet project cars here with cool, trick, and affordable and simple ways for the do-it-yourselfer. We are on video number 3. There are going to be 5 or 6, maybe a bonus video on how to rust-proof your entire vehicle. The thing I'd like to share with all my southern and western people who do not deal with rust. This is something that you can share with those people you do know in the Rust Belt or up in Canada or in any country that deals with lots of moisture. East Coast has tons of salt and chloride on the road, as does the northern part of the United States. This Yukon, they're known to rust right here at this seam where the bottom of the bumper meets the upper quarter panel. They'll rust right here. Tail light out, and I'll tell you, GM's got it down when you take these out. 2 screws and it pops right out. That's simple. We took off the trim piece up here so we can see inside and what we want to do. By pulling the tail light out, we created a hole here that we can rust-proof through.
Buscar en el show más de la descripción de video para todas las herramientas.
And I suggest if you're going to do this, find video number 1 and then follow the whole series so you can go right along, because there's information we share on each one that's not the same. You can see when I spray this how it comes out all those holes. And there's one hole on the very tip too that helps. You stick that right in there. Up, down, over, and I always like to check it, make sure enough is coming out. If enough is not coming out, you turn your nozzle out and then lock your lock nut down. I do 1 twist of the hose, check it again, stuff that all the way down in so it stops. And we'll go in here. This was where a vent was up here at the top. We took that out. That is done. We have critical areas that we want to do that are usually in the seams. So your kit will come with a brush, and you can just go just like this, and it'll soak into that seam. Don't worry about a little dirt on there. It's not going to hurt anything. Just like that. What I like to do, anytime you see a fitting that takes a screw, I like to put a little on that. That keeps your screw lubricated and doesn't allow it to seize up on you. We're putting our regular spray nozzle on right here, and we will check it. We're going to cut that down so it's barely spraying any out. Further in, you twist it. And it's pretty direct, so you can really control it well. Now this area is not washed away with water, so you don't have to worry about retreating it. One time and you're good. That's what we found. All right, and the times we've used this, we've never had to do enclosed areas like this. Under your vehicle, you want to check that every once in a while, once a year, see if there's anything that needs to be recoated. Of course, after you do this system, you do not want to have underbody washes in the car wash, and you shouldn't be taking your car through a car wash anyhow. But if it's salty and you got to get that salt off the outside of your vehicle, that's fine. But the underbody car washes will wash a lot of your rust proofing off. Now we're on the latch area back here. This is where the hatchback, the back gate latches. And these are where your threshold plate goes over and they snap into these plastic things right here. They're a pain to pull out. Usually you end up breaking them. So leave them in. I drilled a hole right here. To give you the best size hole, if you're going to drill it, is 3/4 of an inch, 750 thousandths. You can check your drill bits with a digital caliper so you know exactly where you're at. I drilled this hole already, and we like to use our handy dandy DeWalt and a step drill. And they're marked right here on the inside, the size. But you have to count how many times you go down. I don't like to take that chance, so I get it started with my step drill, go in about 1/4 of an inch till I get it started. I will then manhandle a 3/4 inch drill bit. And I've already drilled this one out. Now, as you remember in video number 2, I was under the vehicle and got all this under there, and I just want to share with you how well that worked. I'm going to dry my finger off here. Reach in here, and I'm just going to curl it around under there and rub it around. Look at that. All wet. So that whole area is coated. Just to show you how to drill the holes, that's what I'm doing here. Then we use body plugs, which this bag we use right here has got an assortment of every size you can think of. You can use a hole saw if you want to even go larger. We drilled that. This is the 3/4 inch plug that will go in there when we're done. Okay, now we've put our nozzle back on that has the holes all the way around the outside. The bigger the hole allows you to stick this down further and make the curve. And we go as far down as we can go. Then we'll come around to this side and go back this way. As far as it'll go. Done. This area down here, you can see that water has puddled up right here and it started to do a little bit of surface rust. This is where we'll take our brush, and you can spray this area if you want. We're not going to do that. But we're going to go around this whole bolt area where the bolts go in to hold the latch, and this whole area right here. Anywhere that water would set, and of course you'll do this seam right here. All along that seam. Pack it right in those holes. It's like that. All along that whole edge. Look for any places that water has accumulated. So we're going to go right here. Okay, we got it started. Gonna go a little larger. And you can have, you know what's really cool, get a 3/4 inch bolt. Every time you go down a step, stick the bolt there, see if it'll go in, or have your digital calipers preset. But I'm going to share with you how I originally told you to do it, because this is really the best and easiest way. One thing, when you're doing sheet metal, standard drill bits do not work well. They grab. So you got to go real slow. Not a lot of pressure down. Just let it do the work. See how it grabbed? And then reverse it to bring it out. A lot of times you can leave it in reverse and it'll clear the burrs out. Done. And now we'll take our vacuum and suck that up. And as you've seen, I suck my plug up into the vacuum as well. Now, again, stick your hose in all the way to the end, as far as it'll go. Back this way. Pull it slow. This area is done. The quarter panel is done until we get in the door jamb and we go back to the back of the vehicle. We'll go in the door jamb and work our way to the rear of the vehicle and make sure that whole quarter panel is done. We know pretty much on Chevrolets, Fords, where they rust, and we really hit those areas good. But for those of you, I'm telling you, if you think your vehicle is not prone to rust, all you got to do is go up north one time with it, and if there's a speck of salt laying up in there, it's going to start rusting. That's just how bad that stuff is. But again, share it with your friends and family who do not live in rust-free areas, okay? Everybody knows somebody in an area where they have salt and chloride on the roads. So let's go do the hood, and I'll show you how we do that real quick. Now on this one right up here, you can see it's starting to rust. Somebody tried to touch that up and get it to stop rusting with just an undercoating, and that will not do it. So all we do is we just go up into whatever holes we can get into and go as far down as we can. Make sure you get up, go back this way. That edge there is very prone to rust. Over to the far right. Now to the far left. Way to the top. There's a seam right here. It's a double panel. So I'm going to hold the holes right at that seam and hit it like that. Any seam I see. Now we'll go all the way to the bottom on this side. Far over to the right as we can. That's done. Of course, I'll do the other side of the hood in a minute. But to give the amount we've used so far on this vehicle, we're still on the same gallon. So we're about halfway done. So we'll use about maybe another half gallon or gallon more. All right, now we have our regular nozzle on, and we're just going to hit right here in this area. Right there in the seam. That's it. You don't really have to do any more unless you see rust starting. I like to hit any holes that I see because you know there's edges that can start rusting. Any of these edges. All right, now you can see on this fender over here the bolts are starting to rust. That means you can do it one of two ways. You can take your dabber and go over it like this and do each bolt, which will stop any rust from starting. Here's a bolt here you could do, but we're not going to do it the hard way. Done. Now I had that cranked up high. You can turn it down lower. It's like that. Now we know Chevy trucks, GMC trucks like to rust out at the bottom of the door edges, quarter panel areas, and above the fender lip above the wheel. So as you can see with this one, way back in there is a nice big hole. We love that. So we're gonna go back in there as far as we can. Pull it out really slow so that you get a good coverage in there. Then we can come in here in the front. There's a hole right here. You can poke it up, down all the way to the bottom. And again, you're basically looking for any hole that will lead you to a deeper place to get this stuff in there. Now right now, I'm right over the wheel in the fender with that hole that I just found. It's way back in there. Now those areas that are prone to rusting, I really like to put a lot on. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's got to be. So there you go. That's how you do your fenders and your rear area of your trunk. You do your trunk the same way you did your hood. Find holes in it. If you have to take your liner out, you have to. Hope this helps. Look for video number 4 coming up. Have a great day.